an exhausting show that sets out to prove once and for all that complete isolation is for the best. For more than one reason, as we'll see, I am your host, Michael Legge, and I will be serving up for you tonight the very finest ingredients, which is fun and laughter, some intoxicating stimulants, my guests, and of course, the most delicious and succulent meat, which is tofu and Peter leaflet. Now, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me and my guests. You're very welcome. Just sling your coat on the spare bed and help yourself to a mint vol au vent and some hot champagne. There's lashings and lashings of disinfectant to go around. And just in case none of you get on, don't worry. Do not worry about not getting on here at my dinner party. I've invited a couple of guests just as a backup. In fact, do you know what? I think I can hear one of them driving into the front door right now. Please welcome my lovely guest. It is Margaret Cabourn-Smith. I'm applauding for you.
Hi,
Margaret,
thank you. I am always early to dinner parties.
Yeah, me too. I'm actually, I hate myself for it. I've had it in the past where I've been 10 minutes early, and 10 minutes is nothing, right? We're adults. You can turn up 10 minutes early, and I still won't go in. I'll actually just, and it looks weird. Like if they looked outside and just saw me hovering.
Oh no, you see, I once I was like a few minutes early and I rang on the doorbell and the hostess sort of didn't forgive me for the entire evening. Like she hated me for it. Because she was still in a bra, hoovering in a, sort of sweaty mess. And I was like, well, we're friends, I can come and help and whatever. But she was absolutely furious.
Hard to believe this, Margaret. You'll find this hard to believe, but I've actually hosted dinner parties in the past.
What?
Yeah, it is. Like, I find that hard.
On your own?
No, like in the 90s.
In the 90s, when people would be with you.
Well, here's the thing. This is what I don't get. In the 90s, I was young, and yet I acted like an old person. Let's have a dinner party. Why?
Oh God, I know.
It's just
Tuna pasta bake.
Yeah, let's put on Fleetwood Mac and die. But anyway, what I did was I had this dinner party. A girlfriend at the time was someone who was very good at the dinner party thing. So, I mean, I guess I enjoyed it. I did. And one of our guests turned up 15 minutes early. But the thing is, I was looking out the window and I saw him arriving. Also, he did not know that I can do a really good impression of him. Like, I can't do impressions of anyone except my friend Alistair. Alistair, if you're watching.
Go on, do the impression then.
Hello. That is exactly how he speaks. So he rang the buzzer, and obviously, I left up the thing, go, yeah, come on in. But instead of me going, yeah, come on in, I just, hello. And he told me, he said, for 1 second, he was really confused. Said, I knew I was early. But I didn't think I was there yet.
Already there. I look so like Melanie Linsky in Heavenly Creatures. Have you seen Heavenly Creatures?
No, but you do look exactly like her in that film.
It's a film, yeah. It's a film where Kate Winslet and Melanie Linsky are teenagers who murder somebody because they've gone into
you do look like that.
Weird lesbian fantasy. But I once saw a photo of her in the Radio Times, where I was so convinced. I just stared at it for about 10 minutes because I was like, I know I haven't been in that film. And I've never been to New Zealand or sat on a gate.
That is how I have been with, Mick Talbot from the Style Council all my life. And as I'm going bald, he's bald. So that means, like, I don't even have that chance to not look like him as I get older. So, And honestly, if you do look at some photos of Style Council, there's like, when people say to you, you look exactly like that person and you don't see it?
Yeah.
I look.
Jimmy White. No, but I do see that, actually. I've been told I look like Jimmy White. I mean, more than once.
Oh, Jimmy White, yeah. And because you've only got one testicle.
And I'm just a very grizzled alcoholic.
Yeah.
And always have been. since I'm 16. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Margaret, when was the last time you went out?
What, socially?
I mean, I'm going to say socially.
Yeah, socially, I went to a fancy, because I was trying to not do things for quite a
while. Margaret, you've been brilliant at not doing things.
Since that guy ate the bat.
You tried and you succeeded, Margaret.
I thought I should stay in. No, so I went to a press night of a play called Love, Love, Love that Guy Garvey did the music to because they couldn't get the rights to All You Need Is Love. So
Love, Love, Love that Guy Garvey did the music to because they couldn't get anyone else. And that asked everyone.
You'd have to be. No, so he had to write his own version of All You Need Is Love by the Beatles.
All you need is lunch.
I think that it's one of those things that the lyrics can be the same, but the tune has to be slightly different. So it just sounds like you're a bit mental. But actually, it went really well. Yeah. So I went there, and I shook hands with one person, but I did it like this.
Oh yeah. That period where that all happened really quickly for me.
Yeah.
That part of doing that, and then I think I did that twice, and then I never saw anyone. It all happened for me. There was no gradual. It's like, no, go away. Something I'm used to. This time there was a legitimate reason for people going, go away.
It's pointing at elbows. I don't remember that bit.
Have you seen my elbow? Fuck you, Guy Garvey. Now, see, it all goes back. Wait, this is all scripted. Otherwise, how would that have been in there?
Oh, sure.
Margaret, have you ever lied to get out of going to a dinner party?
I mean, I've used my children as an excuse to get. I mean, basically, any time I've ever used my children as an excuse.
Is that why you have kids?
Excuse. Well, to be honest, I don't even have kids.
It
was all just a way of getting out of things.
Because
you say you've got kids.
I've only met one. No, I've met both of your pretend kids, but I've only properly met one of them.
Yeah, well, she was asleep.
She was so fucking rude, wasn't she? What a rude, horrible. I'm glad she's not yours, because sack of shit. I did not expect to get blanked by someone. I'm sorry, are you new to the world? Could you frickin' act like it?
Yeah. Born yesterday. Huh?
Yeah. How old was she when I met her?
Oh, she was weeks old at the time.
Yeah. Weeks old. And do you know what? Margaret, wet behind the ears.
She'd been christened that day.
I don't know if you know this, Margaret, but I'm hosting a dinner party. You're my first guest. Thank you for very much.
I've made a bloody effort.
Margaret, you look great. I'd put a jumper on.
I didn't want. Topless dinner parties are the worst.
No, we're not going down that road. But I tell you what, I am, because we're obviously isolating. I'm sending you your dinner, so that will arrive quite soon, but not yet. It'll arrive soon.
Okay.
Now I've got one final question for you before I bring on our next guest. I hope he's on his way. Hang on. I realised that I've already asked that question, but I'm going to ask it again.
Okay.
Because I just realised that I like the second part of the question, which is, have you ever lied to get out of going to a dinner party? And if the answer is no, can you tell us a story about anything?
Yeah, because the thing
don't worry, we don't need to go over it. I was just happy to say the question out loud. You know what?
Listen, I'm always happy to have someone say to me, can you tell me a story about anything? Because I've got lots of them.
Margaret, I hear you have a story about anything.
Yeah, they're a bit long.
I mean, great stuff. Shut up, Margaret. Because I think I can hear our next guest walking down the driveway. So let's call him back before he gets too far down it. It's my other lovely guest. It is Dan Marsh.
Oh, hello, Michael. Hello.
Oh, Dan, it's great to see you. Your food is on its way. Your dinner is on its way.
Brilliant.
We're self-isolating, but we're still having a dinner party. Dan, have you ever been invited to eat with another person?
I despise dinner parties, and none more than this one. But I really don't enjoy it. I have been invited to them, and I dread them. And then I go there, and then someone says, "Oh, we won't have couples sitting together. Dan, can you go and sit next to, this
Hitler.
Yeah, Hitler. He's right there. Yeah, I mean, he's got stories. Don't get me wrong. You don't want to. They're not nice.
He's got opinions, though. That's the thing. He's got opinions.
I read all the Mitford sisters' letters. Do you know the Mitford sisters? One of them knew Hitler. In fact, two of them knew Hitler. But one of them, in her letter, she said, "I met Adolf again today. He talked about Jews for 20 minutes, which was lovely." And that's the exact phrase. I was like, okay, lovely, okay.
Yeah. We got onto Hitler.
But it could have been
quickly.
lovely. It could have been like early days when maybe he was a little bit less confused. Now, Dan and Margaret, actually, where do I know you both from?
Dan introduced me to you, basically.
Right. Yeah.
So it probably makes sense for that to, for him to explain himself.
Yeah. Can you explain yourself to him?
Yeah. Well, you and I met when we were explaining citrons professionally.
Lemons or the
explaining the cars. We were explaining citron cars for a job.
Which is a shame because I love lemons and I was really bored and disappointed because as soon as I met Dan, he went, "Want me to explain citrons to you?" I went,
"Yeah, come on."
And I was bored out of my fucking anus. But we became best people after that. Best people.
And those people left that, whatever it was, conference centre under no illusions that a citron was a car.
Yeah. Oh,
is that what you said?
It was the first thing I screamed at them.
Yeah.
I went, "Guys, you're in the wrong place.
You fucking idiots."
I fucked up too, so don't feel bad about yourself. I tell you what, we have been sold a lemon, but it's a car.
Wow. Yeah. Is that sort of banter that you did?
Yeah, it was that sort of banter. During that conference, I did an impression of
Lloyd Grossman.
Lloyd Grossman.
And it was Lloyd Grossman, wasn't it? Yeah. And was it David Frost?
That was David Frost. Turns out I'm better at doing impressions of my friend Alistair than I am. I know I look exactly like Michael Sheen.
Yeah.
But that's where the similarity ends.
I think you're better looking than Michael Sheen.
Oh, is the booze hit you?
Is this? Oh no, has this gone horribly swingery already?
Yeah.
No, I mean, this technically is harassment at work.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
We will leave it. We will leave it just for now. I'm sure I've got another question.
I fancy Michael Sheen, but he is funny looking.
He is funny looking. I'll give you that. I'll grant you that.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. I worked with him briefly.
No. Thank you both. Thank you both a lot. He is funny looking. And I'm a shit-looking version.
No, I said better-looking version. More symmetrical. You make more sense as a face.
Well, do you know what? I think you're a hot as fuck Jimmy Wang. Tell you what, if I was going to pot the... Oh, God, don't.
No.
Now, Dan, have you ever organised a dinner party or similar? If the answer is no, what question is the answer yes?
You're good at dinner parties.
You are. I like
it. Good at dinner parties.
I've been to a dinner party of Dan's.
You have,
There was only 4 of us. That still counts, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, four is the minimum dinner party.
Yeah.
3.
So what's this?
Is
there's someone at the door. I've got to go to the door. Someone at the door.
No, technically, I should say this. So, okay, there's someone at the door. This is Dan's dinner arriving. Margaret, I believe
someone.
Dinner,
no, mine's already arrived. My husband's opened the door. Can I go and get it? Do you want me to wait?
I'm going to talk to you. No, why don't you leave and then I can talk to no one.
You've got an audience, mate. I thought you were a stand-up.
And also, I was trying to explain that there is... Yeah, Dan, switch your mic off, mate.
But it's real. It shows you that it's real, doesn't it? In bantering with this.
You don't get this sort of thing on that thing that was on BBC last night that was just as fucking unprofessional as this. Now,
he cut a man's finger off just then.
Oh my God.
He got his finger trapped in the bag. And I was pulling it and then he took his finger with it. So, there we go.
Just in case you thought I was lying that I got Dan's dinner from the BP garage, I think we can prove that I was completely honest.
Oh.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah.
Beautiful, that is.
Very welcome. You're very welcome, Dan. Yeah, well, let's have a look at what Dan's dinner is tonight.
Okay, so I've got a few treats here. Well, I'll start with. I think this is probably pudding.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know I had a friend who used to put korma sauce on the Weetabix?
Oh, really?
Right. I'm not doing that. Is there korma sauce in here?
Well, let's see.
What did that do, and why did that begin?
I think because he didn't have milk one morning, but he did have leftover korma sauce.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes you wake up and you don't have cereal. You don't go, well, hard pasta will do. It's not like you don't just use stuff.
I do.
Well, I know you do. What I was trying subtly to do there was go, Margaret, you shouldn't do that.
I eat the first thing I see in the morning. That is my
It's just
breakfast.
sometimes one of your kids.
Yeah.
Why do you think they no longer exist?
Run! Sorry, Dan.
Yes.
Let's have you've got Weetabix.
Got my Weetabix. To go with my Weetabix, I have a lovely little bowl of mash.
Oh, it's the ultimate.
Ultimate mash.
Ultimate mash.
Get that from
mash from the BP garage.
Yeah, so we'll have sort of nice petrol-y taste.
Yeah.
That you
also,
like.
A classic.
Oh, what flavour?
Main course.
Chicken and mushroom. Is that vegetarian?
I just want to say to any vegans out there, I believe most pot noodle is vegan. If I have fucked up there, then I apologise. But I'm pretty sure they're pretty much all vegan.
It says vegetarian on it, so it might have a bit of milk in it or something. But the absolute cream of the dinner. There's this.
Cream of the dinner.
You said cream after I'm trying to save my vegan fucking.
Oh, sorry, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely little champagne.
The main course.
Very nice. The main course.
Stella Artois, Margaret. So.
Finally. Do you want to just
have your greens, Dan? You've got to have your greens.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. This is lovely. What a feast.
Yeah.
Well, spoiled, actually.
Dan, thank you so much for coming to the dinner party. Margaret, would you like to say what you're having for dinner?
Yes. It's been put down by my husband who went for
I quit these.
Oh, okay. So, it is right beside you. Okay.
Yeah.
When was the last time someone bought you flowers, Dan?
I can't even remember that ever happening. This might be the first time.
Well, yeah. You know what? I feel pretty good about myself.
Yeah. I should put them in bars. There's a bar. Oh, hello.
I mean, I've already done better than that.
Yeah, you really have.
What I will say is, this is it.
That's it?
That's it.
You're kidding me. Well, you got ripped off. I definitely ordered more than that.
This now feels like a really horrible dinner party where you've brought a woman along and the cucumber has been brought out.
Yeah. Have you run out, Margaret? Have more.
Yeah.
No.
Can I go and get a glass?
Look, this. That's how it works.
Well, look, we know now.
Awful. I'm going to get a glass.
Oh, yeah, get a glass, and I'll talk to Dan.
Explain yourself.
All right.
Let me explain myself. We know now what we're having for dinner. I mean, I'm just having one. I'll be honest with you. Anything after 4 in the afternoon, I never eat. So all my dinner parties are mainly booze. I'll be right, Dan. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you turned up, especially doing the vegan thing, you turn up to a dinner thing, even just a gathering, and someone goes, "Oh, I forgot you were vegan," which is what they always say. But here's some, fish or a cadaver. I'm delighted when it's just booze. You go, "Oh God, you can't eat, but there is some booze here." Yeah, great. I mean, and now you don't need to talk to me.
Yeah, because going to a dinner party, you're absolutely taking a huge. You don't get a say in what the food's going to be. The number of times I've turned up to a dinner party and someone's gone, "So I'm really gazpacho," and I know I'm going to be vomiting later that night.
I love gazpacho.
But not made by the people I.
Not by the people you.
Not those people. But I went to one once, and dessert came out, and it was strawberries with mascarpone swimming in a soup of balsamic vinegar.
A soup?
A soup of balsamic vinegar, just like a whole.
Right. In a
Who
puddle.
was that?
Yeah. I'm not going to name and shame.
Please name and shame.
But also, then you find yourself going, that's really, wow, you wouldn't think they would work together.
No. I'm right in that.
Just leave out the second part of the sentence. The only way you can get through it.
Let me tell you this is what sticks in my head as being my worst dinner party experience. And it wasn't technically a dinner party, it was a wedding, so that's not really a dinner party, but I had to
even worse.
Far worse. I had to sit at a table of 10 people with no one at that table that I knew. I was like, please, can I sit at the table with the place? No, we want to mix and mingle. The two things I don't want to do.
And they're the same.
I just want to cover myself in a duvet and drink. Can I do that at your wedding? No. So I had to mix and mingle, and I sat next to a woman at this wedding, and I was like, oh, I'm going to have to speak to somebody on this side or that side. And eventually, I mean, when I say I'm going to have to, what I meant was, hopefully no one will notice I'm even here. They'll just not see me, and I'll just drink and eat. But the woman next to me just went, I know you. And I was like, hello. She said, you're a comedian. Don't get me wrong, this is not an ego thing. I just assumed, my friends have told her that. It's not like, oh my God, you look like, Simon Pegg had a terrible time.
Yeah.
I don't mean that. I said, I am. So, yeah, I knew that because I saw you in Camden and you died on your arse. And I had 2 hours to sit next to that woman.
Fucking hell.
Did she give you notes? I mean...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she did. Give me one big note. Never sit next to anyone, ever.
Yeah.
And that's a hard note to take.
Do you know what, though? I've stuck to it.
Well, it's easier in lockdown, isn't it?
Oh.
No trains.
Yeah. Oh, I've been in dress rehearsal for this for so long.
You've been gradually pushing people away and getting pushed away.
Now we're all Michael Legge.
Yeah.
Margaret, have you had?
I'm enjoying my dinner, thank you. It's
a glass of prosecco.
Oh, yes. Maybe I should have some cucumber.
Have a cucumber. Crack
have a cucumber. That's a starter. Margaret, what is your worst dinner party? What?
Well, there was one where so I and I'm sure I've done it to both of you, where I have certain jokes that I end up doing, getting into one of them, actually this wasn't a dinner party, but I used to have a joke. It's sort of I'm really enjoying watching you eat that cucumber. That is not a come on. Actually, it's safer because but even if I am being rehypnoled, you can't get to me. So.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine.
We got a good night.
What a smug thing to say to someone. Yeah, even if you've got retinol, can't get to me. Oh God,
you took my dress. No, I had a terrible joke that I used to do anytime that I was ever talking, and this was mainly about nerves, but anytime I was ever left talking to two people, I would say, so, threesome? And it generally went down really well because it was always stupidly unlikely people to understand. But there was one time where I thought, oh no, that nearly went very wrong because they were both like, oh no, she is joking. Okay. And I thought, oh no, I can't do that again. But I also used to do a joke that if I ever said a very friendly goodbye to somebody, I would then, and they left, I would then turn to everyone else and go, what a bitch, right? And I did that once at a dinner party, and everyone thought it was serious, and it was awful.
Oh,
and the worst thing was, my husband was there, and he knew it was a joke, because he'd seen me do this joke over and over and over. But he just sat there looking like that, as everyone else was like, oh, but that woman's really lovely.
She was really nice to you.
Just called her a bitch.
What do you say about us when we're not in the room?
Yes, exactly. And I never, and you know, but the worst thing ever is to have like sort of 10 people looking at you accusingly and have to go, I'm joking, I'm joking.
Because then no one believes that.
No,
Isn't
but also,
brilliant though.
I don't want to be the person going, I'm joking. They're awful as well.
Oh, that's far worse. But isn't it brilliant though, when you are with your partner or your soulmate or your best friend or whoever it is, someone that you absolutely trust, and you do your joke and everyone's shocked, and that person does not defend you. Go, Jesus, you sack of shit.
Yeah, they really enjoy it.
Dan, your worst dinner party?
As I say, I think they've all been terrible. I mean, the one Margaret was at. But they were never my idea. I never really wanted to have a dinner party. I never liked them. But there was one where I got stuck next to somebody who was very right wing. She was sort of American and very right wing. And as I say, she got sort of drunker and drunker. And she found out that at the time I was a Labour. I was going to vote Labour in the election, and she was. But why? Why would you do that? Why would you vote Labour? And then I was sort of having to sort of defend my entire political outlook in quite an aggressive manner. And
you didn't have to do it aggressively.
No. Yeah.
Well, I tell you why.
Oh, it's fucking awful.
Yeah. Well,
you hear me trumping?
No. I didn't hear you trumping. Do you want me to hear you trumping?
Chomping.
So that's the end of that round. The scores at the moment are Margaret with 3 points and Dan with 25.
Whoa!
So, is that because he got more food than me? He's eating it. I'm eating my dinner.
Very soft.
Right, we need to skip round 2, which is the meal, because we've done that.
By the way, I brought some cashews, just, I'm sorry.
Dan, you've recently cooked a meal.
Yeah, for the first time.
How do you feel? Do you feel like a better person? Do you feel like
I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
What was it?
Stir fry. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't.
Stir fry. What was it edible?
Yeah, it had prawns in it and some items of vegetation and noodles.
Correct.
Sesame oil. No, it was good. But I don't cook, so yeah. I normally throughout this entire lockdown, it's been ready meals and wine. And
cucumbers.
And now cucumbers.
Whole cucumbers.
Like you say. This is going to do the power of good. But yes, I did a big cook yesterday, and I might do another one. I might.
It feels good, doesn't it?
It does. I felt quite, as I ate it, quite proud.
I sewed a popper onto my top, and I felt like a goddess.
Yeah. You're like a proper person.
Exactly like a proper grown-up.
I bet Jimmy White can't do that.
I sat on the toilet yesterday for less than half an hour without crying.
Hey,
I'm doing pretty good.
We should all be come on, cheers to that. Bravo.
Cheers to lockdown achievements.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I did fall off the toilet and curl up on the little toilet mat. But at least I didn't do it.
Post-toilet.
It was soft. Yeah. Thank you, Margaret.
Yeah.
So, let the dinner party begin. The starter. My favourite entree has to be the starter. I love them. Whether it's boiled bruschetta, prawns cock, or just some fucking silence for once. It's my favourite part of the beginning of a meal. But I'll be honest with you, not all starters end up going well. Just ask my neighbour Gwyneth. At a fancy restaurant in Paris, Gwyneth tried ordering mushrooms, but she said champagne instead of champignon. And then 4 years later, someone shat in her shed. So, let's see if our guests You too. Let's see if our guests can guess how these starters finished. I'm going to read some stories from some deeply questionable websites.
Is it
And you
all
tell
going
me,
to be shed shitting? No.
Because that would really speed things up.
I'd stick with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read some stories from some questionable websites. You tell me how the story ends.
Okay.
So here's our first one. These are genuine stories that I got off the internet, so therefore they are bullshit lies.
But so's everything.
Yeah. Came home one day and the cat was missing. Wife was in tears. Searched for hours. No cat. I look in filing cabinets. Their cat is just sleeping. I pick cat up and show to wife. How does that story end?
Well, why doesn't he have enough words?
I think it's the Hulk. I think Hulk.
Is it written that way? That's not you doing that.
Me,
Oh, no. I promise you, that's how it was written.
me show cat.
Yeah.
Wife.
Hulk smash cat, wife
Yeah.
in tears.
Again.
Well, no, that did like if you found a cat in a filing cabinet.
Mm.
Oh, well, maybe
Yeah.
the wife says, yes, that's where I was trying to file the cat. and you've ruined the system now.
Yeah.
I was trying to file the cat alphabetically.
I was doing
Now it's
pet
all over the place.
admin, and now you've ruined it.
Petmin, yes.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
That's your guess? Dan,
Yeah.
what's your guess?
I.
Keep in mind you can say I couldn't give a shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, that is, yeah.
Or
I
that
got
someone
Liz.
shat in a shed for you.
And I have to be very, very strict with this on Michael Legg's shit dinner party. You can only play your Joker once, and your Joker being I couldn't give a shit.
No.
So,
Oh, no, in that
Dan,
case,
would you
I'll
like
say
to
no,
play
is
your
it-
Joker?
No, I'm gonna say, was it not their cat? Was it someone else's cat?
Let's find out. Here is the rest of the story. Let me remind you, came home one day, the cat was missing, wife was in tears, searched for hours, no cat. I look in filing cabinet. That cat is just sleeping. I pick up cat and show to wife. The rest of the story. Wife accuses me of locking the cat in filing cabinet as some sort of bizarre prank. I am innocent. No one believes me. We're divorced. So there we go. I'm afraid that is no point to either of you right
I
there.
reckon that wasn't just about the cat. I reckon there was a lot more going
Oh,
on.
Some
yeah,
stuff had built up.
The cat was the cat
No,
that broke the
Dan,
camel's
things
back.
had been perfect up until now.
It's
It's been a
Do
real
you know what?
One of the most
honeymoon
perfect
period.
marriages.
Do you know what? I married him and I knew he had terrible gamma radiation problems, but I still thought he was smashing in more ways than one. Here we go. Second one. Second story.
All right.
Just want you. I'm
Okay.
going to give you the starter. I want you
Okay.
to give me the. Here we go. Started dating a girl. Her single mom meets my single dad. They
Is it the same guy?
mingle hard. How does the story end?
They mingle hard.
They
Is
mingle
that the phrase?
hard. I think he's trying to be cute.
Okay.
Bang.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, no one's going to go, her single mom meets my single dad. They fucking fuck.
Thank you. Now I understand the story.
Okay, sorry.
Uh,
Is that why Love Actually was so complicated for you?
Yeah, where
They
was
just
the, where was
fucking
the
and fucking
hard,
and fucking.
hard
Yeah.
banging?
2 hours.
What happened to fuck actually? I don't understand it.
Oh, but
No.
I think it's a bit like Bill Wyman,
Oh, sure.
where they end up like a hard mingle goes wrong.
Do you want me to repeat? Because I think you may have misunderstood.
Because I'm bringing up Bill Wyman.
Yeah.
I always
Well, he
bring
ends
up
up in the
Bill
Rolling
Wyman.
Stones.
He's a great guy. Good friend of ours.
No, I do understand. Do you want,
Okay,
do you want
you
me
do.
to take it more seriously?
No. I thought that you thought that maybe, I don't know what you thought. I've just realized now, I don't know what you thought. But what I thought you...
Well done for admitting that.
Here's the thing. I don't know what you thought, but I'm pretty sure that I think I know what you didn't think. So write that down.
Oh God, that's like a crossword clue.
I started dating a girl. Her single mom meets my single dad. They mingle. All right. What happens next, Margaret? Sorry.
All right. So they get together. The parents get together, but then the children split up.
The children split up. Yes.
And then they go.
I hope they are children. It'd be really cute if they were like 3 years old.
So I'm
dating.
Because honestly, if you're 3 and you split up, it does seem bad, but
yeah, but you'll get over it. You will get over it.
Yeah.
No, but then they team up and solve.
I only know that because I recently dumped a 3-year-old, and she's still.
No, Michael, this is one of those dinner parties that's going wrong now.
I'm sorry.
I leave.
I'm so sorry.
Take my cucumber with me.
I wish you would.
I put down a right off his cucumber. I'm sorry, Margaret. I shouldn't have interrupted.
You put me off my cucumber.
Yeah.
No higher insult.
No higher insult. That's it.
No, I'm so sorry, Margaret. That was so rude of me. I spoke over you, and I do apologise.
Yeah, well. No, so yeah, they team up and solve crimes. So close.
Anne, what do you think has happened to her at the end of the story?
I think she turns out she's not a single mum, she's a double mum. I think you're just looking at her sideways on, but I go around, I was going, oh no.
Do you know I never would have guessed this?
Joint twin or something. Yeah.
What would be great is the single dad and the single mum is the same person, but they're doing that, I'm a man on this side. That would be great.
That would be good. Yeah.
No, that's got to be the true answer.
I think that's probably that. Yeah, it's one of those.
So here is the answer. Let's see who gets points. Started dating a girl. Her single mom meets my single dad. They mingle hard. Girl sleeps with my best friend. Messy breakup. Now my ex-girlfriend is my stepsister. Life is a sick bitch. I have to say, I think Margaret came closest.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what the Bill Wyman thing? It is a bit similar to the Bill Wyman thing.
Yeah.
Well, life is a sick bitch. I mean, that's definitely.
He married Mandy Smith.
He married Mandy Smith, and then his mother-in-law started dating his son.
Yes.
And everyone was so healthy and happy for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Nothing about that is nice.
No, nothing about that.
Thing. No.
Yeah.
For once in my life, I've wanted to continue talking while something awkward happens. Now, here we go. This is our third scenario.
All right.
I'm going to give you the starter. You finish it. A few years ago, I went to a party in a bar right by the beach. It was so crowded that I had to go outside for some air. I said hello to another guy who had done the same thing. He asked me for a cigarette. We talked for about an hour. When I told him I was going back into the bar to see my friends, he thanked me for spending time with him. What happened next?
He was Ted Bundy.
That's your answer to everything.
Yeah. Ask me a question.
He was a bin.
How are you? He was a
bin, and my friends didn't want to talk to me.
Yeah.
So if somebody has gone back inside.
Right.
Oh,
so he spent some time with someone, an hour, and the guy was really grateful. Then he went back inside. What happened next?
He destroyed a lot of lives. Is that it?
So close. Dan, do you want to have a little guess?
I'm guessing Ted Bundy is wrong then. Okay, fine. That's a way to tell me.
Well, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't say it's 100% wrong.
Did he murder everyone?
I just said that. You can't take those points away from me.
Okay. Did he murder no one? There.
No one. He went away and murdered nobody.
No one.
Yeah. What sort of story is that?
I'm gonna finish the story. Here we go. A few years ago, I went to a party in a bar right by the beach. It was so crowded that I had to go outside for some air. I said hello to another guy who'd done the same thing. He asked me for a cigarette. We talked for about an hour. when I told him I was going back into the bar to see my friend, he thanked me for spending time with him. That man was Tom Petty, and I had no idea. I hate Tom Petty.
That's how it ends. I hate Tom Petty.
I hate Tom Petty.
Wow, I hate Tom Petty. So even he hasn't managed to win her round, even.
Well, I tell you what, he won because Tom Petty's dead.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who didn't win. Either of you two. 0 points.
Oh, it was a much
Tom
nicer
Petty sounds a bit
ending
like
than we
Ted
thought.
Bundy. They both, you know.
I know.
Tom
That's why I
Petty.
said you were close.
Ted Bundy sounds like you're trying to say Tom Petty when you've got a cold.
Is
that-
Well, in that case, Dan's got a
no,
point.
don't give Dan points.
No. Okay, here's the final scenario.
Everybody.
Going to give you the story. You finish the story. I thought my father had died in a fire 7 years ago. Finish the story.
No.
It was 7.5 years ago.
It turned out.
Lying bastard.
Yeah.
What a sack of lying ash.
That's just I'd lost track of time.
Yes.
That's the end of that. It's not a great story.
Thing is, I think this is funny, but this is way funny. I really wish that person had said this. What
Just
you
lost
said.
track of time.
All right.
No, Dan's got a
My
point.
answer.
I mean, he's wrong, but he's got a point.
Yeah, that's unfair.
Doesn't
My
matter.
answer is, it turns out my dad was the fire.
All right, you've got a point as well.
You know what? It's
Hello.
actually just staring you in the face, isn't it? No, you say it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the full story.
Go on.
Okay.
Just get ready for this, because
Okay.
I'll just do the recap and then I'll do the end. I thought my father had died in a fire 7 years ago, but he didn't.
Why have they put that on the internet? Tell me.
The full fucking story! It's in a list of stories you will never believe. I couldn't give a shit. I've never wanted to burn a man more. But he didn't. So, the scores are now 57 to Margaret, because you got that 1 point. It's got 2 points. And how many points would you like, Dan?
Oh.
How much you got? 57?
Yeah.
58.
58 to Dan. Well done.
Oh,
So-
man.
Still neck and neck. No, it's still anyone's game.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Dan, you could have asked for 4,000 and it would have been a lot harder for me to catch up. So I should thank you.
I actually don't know how to write 4,000, so I'm really
Oh,
glad.
that's lucky.
Yeah.
Main course. Well, I hope you've left room. Oh, God. Well, I hope you've left room for the main course, Margaret and Dan. Or if you haven't, I hope you're a pair of greedy cunts. Because now it's time for what we've all been waiting for. Gravy, sauce, salt, pepper, a glass of red wine. These are all things that go with the main meal. But what else goes with a dinner party dinner? That's right, sitting around pretending you're something you're not. So, let's have some honesty, eh? Margaret and Dan, in order for you to qualify for your main meal, I forgot there was a rule to this. Doesn't matter.
Oh, shit. Okay.
It doesn't matter. Dan, you're not allowed to drink any Stella. You're not allowed to drink any more Prosecco until we get this. In order for you to qualify for your main meal, answer these questions honestly.
Oh.
In social situations, do you lie about what you do for a living?
No, and I always regret it every single time. And the stupid thing is, each time I sort of say it quite proudly, and then immediately we had a sketch
Mental,
about it on
isn't it?
Bottom. But the number of times I've had, what have I seen you in? And then you say something, and they go, no. And then you say another thing, no. And they're like, how long do I have to fucking do this for? I don't know what you've seen. I don't know.
No.
I don't. Yeah. I regret it every single time.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I don't say, I say actor because that's the easiest thing to say.
It's also the easiest job.
It's the easiest job.
I mean,
well, no, but I do other things as well. Dan, you know what? This isn't acting. Do you know that? And it's not really a job, but it's something. No, I was in fact, a while ago, I was at a casting for something and I was sitting with
It was a while ago.
It was a while ago. I was sitting with a load of kids and I was thinking, kids do my job. I mean, kids. Yeah. And they're going up for bigger parts.
I do think you do look younger than your age. So, do you think that your agent is putting you up for kids' parts?
A friend of mine kept being put up for massively fat parts, and she kept going into the room where there'd be like hugely fat women, and eventually, and the people would be annoyed with her, like the producers and the directors would be annoyed with her, and she had to ring her agent and say, "I'm not as fat as you think I am." Which is such a humiliating thing. Like, it's like, I know I'm a bit fat.
I'm disappointingly not. Yeah,
I am not as fat. It's horrendous. There's so many humiliations. I don't
breakdowns that say tremendously plain or.
That's what I go up for. Yeah. The best I get is attractive, not model. That's the best I've ever been up for. But mainly it's not frighteningly attractive. Not disgusting.
How often do you read the words, has let themselves go a bit? I get that a lot.
That's the great thing about being a stand-up but not an actor.
Yeah,
the more horrifically twisted and mutilated you are, the better.
It's fine. Yeah. It's good. Yeah. It helps. Nobody wants to
do looking he stand-up. Can barely fucking wriggle onto the stage. Give him some work.
Give him some work. But no, if I'm ever at a gig and like if I'm in the audience or something, says, what do you do? I say I'm a structural engineer and hope there's no follow-up at all.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. See, I don't have that fairly recently backfired on me because I was getting a haircut in the days when you could actually ask someone to cut your hair for you instead of
disgusting.
And he said, "You working today?" And I went, "Yeah." And he went, "What do you do?" And I thought, I don't want to go down that road. I went, "I'll work for the council." And he went, "Oh yeah, what department?" And I went, "I don't know. I don't know any department. I don't know any department." And I just said, what was sanitation department? And he went, "Oh yeah." And the UK doesn't have a sanitation department. That's an American thing. I might as well have said parks and recreation. We don't have that. And I went, "Yeah, sanitation." And then he started asking me questions. But the thing is, I couldn't even tell you what the questions were because all I heard was, "Fuck," in my head. And then, this is the worst part of the story. I had to turn to him and just go, I didn't turn to him, obviously, I've got a haircut. Instead of turning to him, I just put a mirror up to the back of his head. Like, "Excuse me, mate." I'll be honest with you, I'm really sorry about this. And this is going to seem really weird, but I lied about what I did. I'm a stand-up, and honestly, if I say, someone said, "What do you do?" And I go, "I'm a stand-up." They go, "Oh, tell us a joke." And I just didn't want to. And he went, "I wouldn't have told you to tell me a joke." Wow. And it was just awful. And then he cut my neck. Like he definitely did it on purpose. Yeah, right across here. And then he held my head and just threw it around the room.
Michael, this story is really gone.
Let me ask you this.
Listen, I'm not sure all of it happened, but definitely I got a haircut.
Was it the same hairdresser who vomited on you?
No.
Okay.
No, those are two separate salons.
My dad had a haircut a while ago.
Hello, I'm the child of the Lord. Sorry,
where
Marco.
he realised, no, but I am the child of the Lord. I'm a child of
By the kind of
the Lord. Yeah.
Yeah.
The old Lord.
No, my dad, but halfway through the haircut, or quite soon into the haircut, he realised she was drunk. That's not good, is it? And was too polite to go, let's leave this. But you know, if someone's going,
I'll get the little cup. Yeah.
really?
That's cut. That's a steak cut.
That is cat.
So the guy who said, "What do you do for a living?" and that same barber's, but not the same barber, but it was the same barber shop. Was getting a haircut. Everything was, for once, me and a barber were like not communicating, and therefore everything was fine.
Yeah.
The ends of the haircut, like you just went, "Is everything fine?" And he did the mirror behind your head and went, "Well, I'm going bald, but stop showing me that." And everything was absolutely fine. And he went, "Okay, all good." And he sort of like swiped the hair off my shoulders, even though I was still wearing the cape. And then he took, that papery strip off. And then I thought the next thing he would do is take the cape off, but he grabbed clippers and just shaved me there. There.
Why? What have you done
What the fuck was there? I was going, oh God, no human should have that. Well, what was it? And of course, I left without saying. And then
What
from,
was it? You should have said.
I'd say for months afterwards, I thought about it. Clearly, it's years.
Have you kept an eye on that bit to see if anything emerges?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I could have been a tumor, and he's like done me a real favor.
Yeah.
Well, they did used to be surgeons.
Tumor? Yeah.
Surgeons and, yeah.
How's your tumor looking? Sorry,
Martin White, who we all know, once said that he thought that there should be a service where you could get a taxi and a haircut at the same time, so you could get all of your awkward conversations out at the same time. And it's such a good idea.
Okay, now, hey, this is still the main course. I mean,
is something else going to arrive?
Yeah. If someone at the table comes off with a controversial opinion, I think we may have covered this. Like votes Brexit, is racist, likes plays. Do you call them out on it, or do you just quietly agree and to avoid any awkwardness, just end up marrying them?
Well, I'll tell you what I do. The tactic I have is I tend to avoid conflict at any cost. So
Right.
I don't know why I'm here, but what I tend to do is I'll just start replying completely monosyllabically. I'll just go,
Non-committal.
I won't even say words. Yeah. So eventually it'll just shut the whole thing down. That's the best tactic I've come up with.
Okay, that's good.
Well, there was a way. I'm sort of all right. Like if it's a friend who says something, then I'll happily steam in, even if I mainly agree. But yeah, if it's somebody, when my then boyfriend, now husband, met my then grandfather, now dead grandfather.
You dumped him and then married him?
It's confusing. It's really confusing. But no, we were at a family dinner, and my sister was saying that she'd stopped being friends with someone because they kept texting her racist jokes. And we were like, well, and then my grandfather said, "Oh, I like racist jokes." And there was a horrible silence. But then my mum, who is the least, she will really, really avoid conflict, said, yeah, but not by text.
Yeah.
Literally
any other context, they're great.
Yeah, exactly.
Racism and technology shouldn't.
Racist jokes. It was awful because we'd already had a conversation where it was there was an awkward moment where it turned out that it seemed like it was possible that my husband's grandfather might have tried to kill my grandfather. Might have blown up the tank he was in. It turns out that wasn't the case, but it was already quite a stressful day.
That really raises the stakes, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
I think very much so. Now, I've realised we are overrunning like a bastard. So I'm going to skip to the final question in this round.
Okay.
My friend, Look me in the eye and answer me honestly. That's the whole point of this round. Crisps get worse the posher they are, true or false?
I'd say, I think I would agree with you. I like a pub crisp. And I think if you go posh, they start getting oilier. Have you noticed this? You open them up and they're sort of dripping in oil.
They've been put in individually.
Yeah.
I also think they're harder. And I'm a gentleman. Yeah. I'm a gentleman.
You are neither of those things.
I'm a gentle Ben.
I'm not even a man. I'm gentle Ben.
Yeah.
You are gentle Ben.
You're gentle Ben.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, we agreed with that, so that's the point. Okay, let's have a look at the scores. Margaret, how many points would you like?
Oh, I'll just take 3.
3. Dan, how many points would you like?
Well, I'm going to cause you a bit of a problem here, Michael. I would like 4,000 points.
Wow.
That's totally fine.
You could write the words, fine. Michael.
So,
write it in words. Yeah.
At the end of that round, Margaret lagging a little bit behind with 3.
I should have asked for more points.
Right ahead with Margaret. Margaret, I am speaking.
Take a point off.
Well, do you know, thank you for interrupting me, Dan. You're absolutely right. So, it's stupid Margaret with 2. And just ahead of the game, at the moment, it's still anyone's game to play for, with 4,000 points. It's Dan.
I'm scared to say anything now.
Okay, really quickly, the entertainment round. That's, you know, after you've had a big meal, you can't have the dessert. You have to have a little, hey, we should look at slides, or we should, you know, maybe, do a bit of karaoke. Oh, we've got a karaoke thing. There's a bit of entertainment. So here's the thing. I'm going to be honest about this. I looked for maybe an hour and a half on YouTube today at shit videos of people being awful at singing or doing stand-up or just doing anything that's and after a while I just went, who the fuck am I to judge these people? Honestly, it depressed me so much. But you know what? They're just people trying to have a good time.
Yeah, probably better people than you.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip this round, but all we're going to do is, Kenny, would you mind showing the photo? This is a photo of me in a Tandy advert. I didn't want to do that Tandy advert, but that's what I look like. So instead of doing a round where I'm just going to point the finger at other people, why don't we just take a minute to look at me?
Do you have fun?
Is that a minute up? A minute feels like it's up. Thanks, Kenny. We're done with that now. Sorry, Dan, you said something there.
I said, did you have fun memories of shooting that?
I really, 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 really strong amnesia about the whole thing. I wish I was lying. I did a Tandy advert in the 90s. I'm told.
I can't remember it. I've never seen it.
Well,
good.
I know
finally, you and I have something in common.
So,
at the end of that round...
Does Tandy still exist?
No. No.
Michael killed it.
Well, also, I don't really exist. So me and Tandy died at the same time. Margaret,
yes.
That is the end of that round. So the scores are... How many points would you like, Dan?
Me? I'll go for... I'm not going to be greedy. I'll take 10,000.
10,000. Margaret.
Yeah, I mean, I must...
Yeah. So what's that, 1? Okay. So, Margaret, just behind with 1 point. The positive, 1. But Dan...
I'm off the mark.
You're off the mark.
I'm just grateful to be here. I'm having a lovely day.
Bottom rung, Caborn Smith herself. But top of the tree at the moment, just for the moment, Dan with 10,000 points. Now, Here we go on to our final round, just desserts. This is it, the final part of the show. Who has got a sweet tooth? What's a meal without afters? Spotted dick, emotional crumble, death by choking. That's how all dinner parties end. In fact, it's often the favorite part of the meal for some. No starter, no main course, just dessert. But who else has had their just desserts? Answer these questions in our final quickfire round and we'll find out. Are we ready, guys? Now remember, the scores, Margaret 1 and 10,000. Here we go. It's the just desserts. Let's find out who's had their just desserts. Question 1. Ready?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ireland has won the Six Nations Rugby Championships in 2018. But who did they beat in the 5th round to get to the final?
Was it Andy Murray?
Wasn't Andy Murray, although I do understand why you and your people might blame him for this at this time.
Oh, was it Benjamin Disraeli?
It wasn't Benjamin Disraeli. It was an entire nation. It was England. Okay, so 0 points there for both of you. Okay, question number 2. Ireland has sung its way to victory at Eurovision a staggering 7 times. But what stupid, cowardly country has won it only 7 nappy-shitting times?
Is it Ireland?
5 times.
I was going to say that's the same.
Yeah, nappy-shitting is 5. So Ireland has won it 7. Some other country has won it a pathetic 5 times.
Is it the UK?
Right, exactly. See, Margaret, Dan's really brought up a really good point here. Exactly. England couldn't even fucking say England in Eurovision. They say the UK. When it fucking suits them, Team GB, you cunts. It is indeed. Quite right. A point for Dan. It is England. 3. A major event happened 102 years ago today in Dublin that began the process of ending Ireland's rule by which shit country?
Was it Western Samoa?
It's England. Point to Dan. 4.
What?
Samuel Beckett, James Joyce, and Seamus Heaney are all great Irish writers. But which country does Jimmy Savile, Gary Glitter, and Chris Martin come from?
I like Chris Martin.
I bet you do, you fucking horrible paedophile. Well, what country does it come from? Fan of Chris Martin. It's England. Well done, Dan. Thank you for at least being brave to admit it.
Sorry.
Question number 5. Thank you. Another point to Dan. Shut up, Margaret.
I'm
5.
sorry, Sue.
Radiotherapy, the nickel zinc battery, and the ejector seat were all discovered or invented in Ireland. Which country invented not shutting up about a past they destroyed even though they never really had it, and they eat jellied eels there and are wankers?
Which country do you live in, Michael?
Oh, which country do I actually own a little bit of land in? Fucking England. Is that your answer?
Yeah, was it Margaret? No, it's England, isn't it?
No, it's not Margaret. Oh, England. Thank you, Dan. Well done. 6. And by the way, there's about 40 questions. 6. Ireland is mythologically the home of the magical and charming leprechaun. But from which country do all actually white shitbag races come from?
Well, it's a complicated question, I suppose.
You're absolutely right, Dan. It is England. Thank you. Oh, hang on. I need to do the horn.
This is taking a turn.
Oh, and that's the end of the round.
Oh.
So let's have a look. That's 10,006 points to Dan and 1 point to Margaret. Tough shit, Margaret.
I haven't heard that for years. That was my nickname at primary school.
Hard cheese.
Did you have constipation?
But I really let them have it.
A great round, I think you'll agree, right? A great round?
Oh, great round.
Oh,
great round.
yeah,
Very informative.
It's cheered us all up, Michael.
Yeah.
Well, we're out of time. So sorry, but we have to go. Thanks so much for joining us here on Michael Legg's Shit Dinner Party. I'd like to thank my lovely guests, who are Margaret Caborn-Smith and Dan Mersch. You've been great guests at my home too, viewers, if you were there. No more time. Honestly, we're out of time. And it's...
Can I call a cab?
In fact, to be honest, we're way over time. But, oh, fuck. Oh, God, I'm so sorry. Oh, shit. I'm really sorry, Kenny's like waving like we've got to wrap up. But honestly, I'm telling you right now, I should have said this at the beginning of the show. Oh,
it's a shit dinner party.
Ooh, there's been a murder.
No.
Anyway, it was Margaret. Margaret killed him. So thanks so much for joining us here at Michael Legg's Shit Dinner Party. I should have set that up earlier. But there'll be plenty more mysterious killings next time when you join us, if there is a next time. Margaret, goodbye. Dan, goodbye. Kenny, we love you, goodbye. Apparently, we really need to thank you for anyone who has been tipping us. Apparently, there's been loads of tips, which, believe me, there shouldn't have been. And thank you so much. If you want to tip us again, please do, because Margaret desperately needs it.
I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry.
Margaret!
Honestly.
Oh, by the way, if you want to put a few more pennies into that tip jar and you want to tell Margaret to shut up, then you can do so. Thank you so much. This has been Michael Legg's Shit Dinner Party. Goodbye.
And I'm gonna chase it. And I'm gonna chase it. I know we can't ignore it. And I'm gonna chase it. I know we can't ignore it.
At least I don't wee out of my bum.
Why are you just looking at me? What are you just staring at me for?
That is the stuff!
Oh, fuck off, I love it.
Is this a humiliation stick?